in Deuteronomy, we get introduced to Balaam. And this is what Creator God had to say. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken to Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. If we look at the way they live life today, and we look at his coming back, we will see he made the curse into a blessing. And as they come into the plain over the Red Sea, God fulfilled his promise to them. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land, which the Lord swore unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give unto them and their seed after them. And I spoke unto you at the time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. The Lord your God hath multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for the multitude. If you read on, you will see Creator God had enough of them to take the land of promise. God made them a great nation. And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgment which Moses spoke unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt. On this side of Jordan, and the valley over against Beth-peor, in the land of Sihon king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel smote after they were come forth out of Egypt. And they possessed this land, and the land of Og king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan, towards the sunrise, from Elbor, which is by the banks of the river of Aram, even unto Mount Sion, which is Horon, and all the plains on this side of Jordan, eastward, even unto the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pekon. These laws were set before Israel, but they did not want to keep them. If there was any other matter that needed to be addressed, then they was supposed to go to the priest. If there arise too hard for thee to in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up unto the place which the Lord thy God has chosen. And thou shalt come to the priest and the Levite, and unto the judges that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence and judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of thy place, which the Lord shall choose, shall show thee. And thou shalt observe and do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee. Thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand, nor to the left. Creator God knew they wanted a king in the future. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But the king was to write the law, so the king would keep the law. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of the law in a book out of that which is before the priests the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, and he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, that he not turn aside from the commandment to the right hand or the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children, in the midst of Israel. They was not to keep silver or gold, neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away, neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver or gold. Creator God told them to make a plaster stone so they could keep the commandments in the sight of their eyes. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, Keep all the commandments which I command you this day, and it shall be on the day when ye shall pass over Jordan unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou shalt set thee up great stones of plaster them with plaster, and thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law. Then thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, a land that is flowing with milk and honey, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee. And he told them that it was to be plain. And thou shalt write upon the stone all the words of this law very plainly. Now we can see the law has become a curse unto them, because they did not hearken to the Lord. You can read all the curses in Deuteronomy 27:14 through 26. If we look today, Israel is sick, and this is why. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plague of thy seed, even great plagues, and of a long continence, and a sore sickness of the long continence. And this will be what destroys them. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. We can see he separated them by tribes. And the Lord shall separate them unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, so that the generations to come of our children that shall rise up after you, and the strangers that shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of the land, and the sickness which the Lord hath laid upon it, that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt, burning, that it is not sown, nor breathed, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overflow of Sodom and Gomorrah and Zebon, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, Wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? When men shall say, Because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them, when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of the land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. These secret things belong unto the Lord our God. But these things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. One day they will turn back to him, and all will be restored. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thy heart and the heart of the seed, to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and upon them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thy hand, in the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of law, and if thou return unto the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Moses was told to write the law in a book. It is called the Book of Moses, known as the Torah, or the Book of Laws. The Lord told him to take them to the priest. And the Lord, he it is that doeth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And Moses wrote this law, and delivered it unto the priest, and the sons of the Levite, which bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. As we can see, the elders mean priests, and the law was to be read to all. When all of Israel's come to appear before the Lord thy God, in a place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men, women, and children, and thy strangers that is within thy gates, that they may hear, that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children, which have not known anything, may hear and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as ye live in the land, whether you go, whether over Jordan, to possess it. What a different world we would have if this was to happen today. Moses gave it to the priest. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and it may be there for a witness against thee. Now we come to the end of the life of Moses, the lawgiver. And Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hosea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all the words to all Israel. And he said unto them, Set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe, and to do all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whether you go over Jordan to possess it. Today, they think it is a vain thing in their eyes. Can you see this is why we are the way we are today? The blessings of Moses to keep the people should be read with the caution, because we can see the end from the beginning. Please read the blessings of Moses. It is Deuteronomy 33, 1 through 29. It is the whole chapter, and it talks about the blessings. Each one has his way in life to live, and we see it today.